Hello, everyone. If you are viewing this video, you are viewing the Seven Springs Middle School Center for Gifted Studies. I look forward to introducing you not only to our school, but what exactly our Center for Gifted Studies is, what it can offer to your gifted child, and what unique course offerings we have at our site and unique experiences that your child can be a part of. Everything that we do goes back to our mission and vision of Pasco County Schools as a whole. In the middle, you'll see our three key priority areas, which are high impact instruction, data-driven decisions, and collaborative culture. On the left-hand side is our mission as a school district, which is we exist to provide a world-class education for all students. And our vision is that all our students are achieving success in college, career, and life. On this slide is our Pasco County Schools common vision of instructional excellence. You'll see it is very similar to the same three colors you just saw on the previous slide because it is connecting back to those three key priority areas of high impact instruction, data-driven decisions, and collaborative culture. Those five bubbles that you see in front of you are all different areas within the common vision of instructional excellence. These are things that we hope to see in every single classroom throughout the entire Pasco County School District. And of course, connecting that back to our Center for Gifted Studies, these are things that we uphold in all of our grade levels, 6th, 7th, and 8th in our gifted classrooms, and programmatically that connected back to real life and fostering better students that are getting ready to move on to college, career, and life readiness. So the Seven Springs Middle School Center for Gifted Studies is designed to meet both the academic and social behavior needs of the gifted learner. Our core academic courses are comprised of only gifted identified learners. That means that students are receiving daily differentiated instruction in at least 3 out of their 4 core academic courses. That means math, science, and language arts. And they also have the opportunity to accelerate themselves in different pathways for math throughout science and social studies. And we'll talk a little bit more about those course offerings. But these are students who are going to be in classes that are comprised of only gifted students in language arts, science, and social studies classes. Math, of course, they can differentiate, but that's something that we'll talk a little bit more about as far as unique course offerings and those gifted comprised classes in just a bit. The Seven Springs Middle School Center for Gifted Studies is for students who are zoned for the following middle schools. That would be Chasco Middle School, Gulf Middle School, Paul R. Smith Middle School, River Ridge Middle School, Starkey K-8, and of course, if you're a natural feeder into our school already. But these are schools where you could apply for that school choice that will be opening up in January. Speaking of school choice, all applications will be submitted through the My Student Parent portal. The important school choice dates for the upcoming 2023-2024 school year is going to be January 8th. It opens at 8 a.m. through My Student, and it closes on January 19th at 4:30 p.m. A few months later, you will hear a notification and also have to do an acceptance, and that is between the dates of March 4th to March 13th. And that is closing at 4:30 p.m. for that acceptance to any of the choices that you are putting it for. If you are viewing these videos, of course, there's a lot of information about the Center for Gifted Studies for Seven Springs Middle School. And of course, I just want to make sure that there's plenty of outlets and methods for reaching out with any follow-up questions as you consider our options that we have here for your student and making sure it's the best fit for them and for your family. I do have our school website that is listed at the very top, ssms.pasco.k12.fl.us. And these screenshots that you see in front of you are what you will see if you scroll down just a little bit on our home page of our SSMS website. You'll see an area that has a green Submit Questions button, and I kind of put a yellow circle around that for you. And this is right on the home screen. So if you navigate to that web address at the top, scroll down just a little bit on the main page. You don't even have to click anything. It's right underneath of our main banner. You'll see that green button that says Submit Questions. From there, you'll see the second screen, which offers a lot of different options for you to submit questions to different places. I also have a button for our SSMS, Center for Gifted Studies. If you click on that button, it'll take you to an online form. You just fill out your questions, your contact information, and that is an email that will get sent directly to me and to Seven Springs Middle School staff. that will be able to answer those questions for you. Of course, you can reach out to our school directly by giving us a phone call or emailing me. My name is Alyssa Kina. I'm one of the assistant principals. I'm over the center. But this is going to be the quickest and best way so that we can track trends and patterns of questions. Hopefully, we're able to answer a lot of them through this video for you, or if you're coming to our face-to-face or visiting our table in the expo hall. But this is just a quick method that we have available. You can do this anywhere. It's web-based. So this is a great option for you. And at the very end of this video, I'll have a QR code that makes it even easier. You can just open your cell phone and scan that QR code at the end of the video. It takes you directly to this screen that you'll see in front of you. Okay, so getting a little bit into it, we are Jaguars at Seven Springs Middle School Center for Gifted Studies. So we roar, and we invite you to come roar with us in our Center for Gifted Studies, and we can't wait to show you what we are all about. Unique to our school site is our very own mission and vision. So our mission on the left-hand side is that we are providing rigorous, relevant learning while fostering respectful relationships. That is a very important piece for us, is that relationship side, because that teacher-student relationship is core to being lifelong learners and core to their individual success. Over on the right-hand side for our vision, that should look probably very familiar because it connects right back to Pasco County Schools' vision of all students are college, career, and life ready. Here, I just wanted to put a quote that we kind of live by, and it's that gifted students, by their very advanced cognitive abilities and intensity of feelings, deal with issues about self and others in ways that are different from those of the general population, and therefore require specialized understanding. So this quote is very nicely tied back to our mission for Seven Springs Middle School and also the social emotional needs of what gifted learners require. We oftentimes focus so much on the academic needs that these are high ability learners. There is so much complexity that goes on behind the social emotional side of gifted students. Our teachers and our staff that work with our gifted students are very well trained in helping to not only navigate but support long-term those students through 6th, 7th, and 8th grades in our Center for Gifted Studies, that is really something special that helps support our students for the long term, not just supporting them academically. Of course, we focus on that, but the social emotional needs are pretty intense sometimes. If you have a gifted student at home, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And our teachers and staff are very trained and very well versed to be able to lift those students up, support them with their strengths, lead with their gifted educational plan goals, but then also kind of foster those environments within their classroom that really help develop the social emotional learner. So with that, we have a mission of our own specific to the Center for Gifted Studies that wraps back around to what we were just mentioning. The mission of Seven Springs Middle School Center for Gifted Studies is to provide specialized instruction through differentiation to meet the academic and social emotional needs of our gifted learners. So what exactly does that mean? Our students are placed on 3 different grade level teams, and they are placed with other gifted eligible learners. So students who all have the same learning exceptionality of gifted. All of our students learn from a gifted endorsed teacher in their science, social studies, and ELA or language arts classrooms. These teachers have received specialized training and they have gifted endorsements on their teaching certificates to best meet the academic and social emotional needs of those gifted learners. Our science, social studies, and ELA classes are comprised entirely of gifted students, and the curriculum that they teach in those classes is designed and differentiated specifically to address the gifted education plan goals that are in each student's state plan. So whether those goals might be leadership, creativity, and so on, those teachers are designing learning experiences that help tackle and meet the specific benchmarks within those goals individualized to each child in their room. Now, when your student is coming to Seven Springs Middle School, there are a lot of systems that are in place to support those gifted students coming to us. A lot of times this involves articulation with the elementary schools, and this is happening, this is an example of it. Already back in semester 1, we start thinking about the upcoming school year, And there are other things that go on at the end of semester 1 and a lot of things that happen behind the scenes for semester 2 to get to know your child before they even step foot on our campus. So that involves talking to elementary school leaders, talking to teachers, counselors, and other staff members to get to know what your child needs. And that way, when we have them come into our program, we have a pretty good idea of their needs intellectually and socially emotionally. We do have gifted endorsed teachers for our language, art, science, and social studies classrooms. And we also have, on top of that, a district level gifted resource teacher who supports Center for Gifted Studies schools specifically. So they come into our site, they help build capacity in our program and help strengthen areas that they see by working with our teachers. So you may often see them even at the time when we are designing a gifted education plan for your rising sixth grader who is coming out of fifth grade. That is a person who is helping our teachers kind of manage what those goals might be on an educational plan designed for your child specifically to their middle school 3 years that they're going to be here. We also have our gifted resource teacher who will help be actually in our classrooms, and they're helping design that curriculum that your child is working on in those classes as well. They might be doing projects, they might be doing enrichment activities. There are a lot of different things that ours already currently does that's really unique to our site, and it's exciting to work with them and learn from them too. We also provide support through social emotional learning, and those students are in a classroom with other like-minded peers who think of them kind of like a tribe. They're going to be with these students just, in their sixth grade year. They're going to travel with that same group to their seventh grade year and then travel again with that same group to their eighth grade year. So some of these students have known each other for years already in elementary school. Some of them have not, and maybe they're just meeting some of their peers for the first time coming to Seven Springs. But that goal is to provide that like-mindedness in one setting, a comfortable classroom environment where our gifted students feel like they belong because they are all with their same like-minded peers and kind of get each other. We also have our students not just in their on-team classes, but they also take some off-team classes, and those are through their electives. They get a choice of 2 electives in their day. So those electives are given priority to students to optimize their schedule. A lot of times we have gifted students that are very talented in the arts or very talented athletically as well. So we kind of look at that and design that based on very uniquely how to balance their gifted classes because they are designed to be with their peers throughout the day. We do have different math courses on campus. We have 9 different opportunities and students can self-accelerate. Science, we also have some accelerated options or advanced offerings as well. So depending on students' strengths, if that's an area where they would like to accelerate, those are areas where they may do so, specifically in math and science. We also have an opportunity when they are in 8th grade to take an 8th grade pre-AP geography and world history course, which we'll talk about in just a little bit, but that would be something to consider even later down the road if they'd like to self-accelerate through their social studies as well. I mentioned that we are Jaguars and we roar. So ROAR stands for being respectful, on task, acting appropriately, and being responsible. And we encourage that positive behavior on our campus through our school-wide expectations of ROAR. So when we tell our students we are Jaguars and we roar, please show ROAR expectations. This is a common language across the school, and we recognize students by giving them praise, feedback. We even incentivize them by providing rewards and incentive activities for demonstrating ROAR throughout the school year. I mentioned earlier that we would be talking a little bit more about some of the course offerings that we have, and these are a lot of unique things that are specific to high school courses. So if you have a middle school student, Center for Gifted Studies student who is interested in pursuing high school credits prior to going to high school, they may do so. We have 12 different high school courses that are offered, and that would be through Spanish 1 and Spanish 2. We have a digital design course. We have Foundations of Robotics, which is like a career and technical education course. We have leadership skills. We also have something called peer partners, peer counseling. Our math offerings are Algebra 1 and Geometry honors. We also offer physical science honors, which is a 9th grade science course. and then pre-AP World History and Geography, which is a pre-advanced placement course for students if they would like to pursue that option in 8th grade for their social studies course. We have some elective course offerings that are very unique to our site. For example, we have a thriving music program. Oh my goodness, if you've ever seen it, it is something not only to see, but even more awesome to be a part of. So we do offer a large orchestra program that is also another choice option for us on top of the Center for Gifted Studies. Orchestra is also another one of our magnet opportunities. We do have a large chorus program, an enormous band program with 3 different levels of band, band 1, 2, and 3. We have percussion in case we have students that are pursuing that option and they want to also maybe later down the road go into steel drums. We're the only middle school that offers a steel drum program and a music explorations course. So if you have a student who may be demonstrating strength in keyboard and guitar, or either one of those, this is a great option for them to try because it offers both keyboard and guitar, and that's that music explorations course. But we do have a band program, a chorus program, orchestra program, steel drum program, and then also a music explorations course in case students want to go that route too. But we have a very large, thriving music program with 3 wonderful teachers. Visual arts, we have 3 wonderful visual arts teachers who share very well with their arts program, and just seeing the things that come out of our arts program is also entirely very cool. We have a visual art 1 class, exploring 2D art class, exploring 3D art, and then an advanced studio arts 1 and 2 for our older students later down the road who have advanced art skills. Our ELA, or language arts electives, we offer 2 different options, and these are offered as semester-based courses, and they are speech and debate, in case we have students who really like to do research, going through like the claim and counterclaim process where you're developing an argument either for or against something. This is a really cool opportunity to get to be not only just that writer, but then a presenter as well. So I always think of our students who enjoy like Pasco Speaks. If you have a student who's really into writing and researching verbal debate, this would be a great option for them. If they're not into like writing on that side, but maybe they're more of a creative writer, we have that option too, and that's another semester course. So we offer both of those because we have students who, again, we know are thriving with their language arts, reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills. So our ELA electives are there in case they may be interested in going that route. And these connect very nicely onto our high school with the creative writing on the high school output end as well. For CTE, which is Career Technical Education, we offer a variety of different things there with 3 wonderful teachers, and that's robotics, career clusters, intro to business, audiovisual arts, and digital design. We also offer physical education and or fitness and health for students. Health is a requirement for all incoming 6th grade students, and that is a state of Florida mandate. But again, these are a variety of options throughout their whole time in middle school. So the things that are on this screen are not just 6th grade, but just think long term as well throughout 6th through 8th. Extracurricular activities that we have are listed right there in front of you. We have a very large 300 plus National Junior Honor Society. We have a STEM Fair Club, Odyssey of the Mind, a Color Guard Club where we work very closely with our high school, J.W. Mitchell High School Color Guard and Band, and then a Fellowship of Christian Athletes as well. Sports, we offer the same sports that all Pasco County middle schools do, which is cheerleading, varsity and JV football, varsity and JV volleyball, boys and girls basketball, varsity and JV as well, boys and girls soccer, varsity and JV, and then track and field, which is a spring sport. So our 6th grade team, which is called 6H, has developed something that is very specific to their team in order to create a sense of camaraderie and a sense of community and kind of like an identity for our 6th grade gifted team. They call this the Houses of Team 6H, and I'll talk a little bit more about it next. Basically, the Team 6H house concept has come into play where students are divided based on their thinking styles into subject area houses. So this might be with their math, science, social studies, and language arts. And they're basically grouped to create teams within the larger entire 6-H team of 4 teachers. So students identify themselves through strengths-based, and again, this was all actually driven by gifted students a few years ago, and they kind of figure out where their strengths lie within those 4 different subject areas, which are houses, and they compete with the other houses to accomplish goals such as earning points in the form of stones throughout the year. The really neat part is that students have a winning house every week, and that's earning a variety of different rewards or incentives. They're cheering on their house in a variety of academic and field day type of events throughout the school year. And it just provides an opportunity for students to recognize their peers, hosts a little bit of friendly competition. But the really neat part about it is that students are like self-identifying where their strengths lie. This entire concept was driven out of gifted students who thought this would be something that would be a place where they could design where they belong. And it's just really neat to see the kids get into it, I would say, even more so than the adults, although the adults get into it very much as well. But this is a neat thing for kids to be a part of. And anytime that we have students who go on to like 7th and 8th grade, they are still talking about the houses of 6-H. So that is a pretty cool thing that those teachers have developed along with their students. And it's been continuing to go on for a few years now, and it's continuing to grow every year too. I can't wait to see what your student adds to it in their incoming 6th grade year. Of course, we have students who we want to hear feedback from because we never want to just assume, what we're doing is like good enough. We want to continue to get better. So we offer and solicit feedback from kids. We want their input. And these are just a small snippet of capturings of what students have said about our program, just going through and trying to figure out, what is maybe some of the highlights of it. So what students have said is that the teachers understand you more in your gifted classes. Being in the program is good for me to make friends because everybody thinks the same as I do. I always feel competitive and I strive to do my best. And in gifted classes, I feel challenged just enough. I gave this quote its very own slide because it was just very neat to hear how articulate one of our 8th grade students has. Now, keep in mind, they've gone 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, traveled throughout the program and seen it to its entirety. But just to see what they shared on this is very powerful. And we just felt like this would be great to share with our audience. But they said, I feel like being in gifted classes brings the best out of me because it makes me really use my brain to its fullest potential. After being in these classes, my whole view on what we can really do is changed and my learning is enhanced. I mentioned a way that you can submit some questions in case you have any wonderings following this video or following the in-person presentation, and that would be through our Seven Springs Middle School website. I'm going to try to address some frequently asked questions that we get a lot of, and hopefully this will leave you with a few less questions. But a question that is a big one that we get every year is, do I have to apply for school choice for my child? Let's say maybe my child attends a zoned elementary school that we know is automatically going to articulate to Seven Springs Middle School anyway. Let's take like Trinity Elementary or Trinity Oaks, Odessa. I already know my kid is going to be coming to you for the upcoming school year. Do I need to apply for school choice? If your child is gifted and you're applying for the Center for Gifted Studies or you're anticipating them being in our Center for Gifted Studies, the answer is going to be yes. All 5th grade gifted students should be applying for school choice so that we can anticipate not just at Seven Springs Middle School, but at all middle schools, where are those gifted children attending for the next upcoming school year. How long is the school day? So this is listed on our SSMS website, but our day begins for students at 8:25 a.m. this year, and we end at 2:50 p.m. We get asked often, what is the daily schedule? So our students have a 6-period day, and it's on a rotating bell schedule. They have their 4 core content classes, which is their on-team gifted classes, their science, language arts, social studies, plus their math, and then their 2 electives, which is their choice, and we offer those unique course offerings we just talked about, including a 30-minute lunch. Is transportation provided? We get a lot of questions about transportation. It's going to be the same for basically every school, but students within our attendance boundary who live 2 miles or more from the school will be provided with neighborhood stops. If you're within that 2-mile radius or under, they will not be providing transportation for our area. So this has to be 2 miles or more to be provided with a neighborhood stop. Currently, students who are zoned for our Center for Gifted Studies will not have a hub location listed on our district website. However, there may be one that's added once student need is determined after the school choice window happens again for the second time in May. So at this point, parents are responsible for providing transportation to and from those designated hubs, depending on what is determined once we have the school choice window that rolls in and out. But parents would be providing transportation at least to get to the hub and or get directly to our site. When will my child's education plan, or EP, be written? So that is happening prior to the end of your child's 5th grade year, typically in April or May. And that'll be here. We'll be hosting you and your family, and that will be with 6th grade gifted teachers, 7th grade and 8th grade gifted teachers upon the articulation to middle school. That will happen again when students are at their 8th grade year, the end of their year, going on to high school. They'll get another high school plan. So the EP that they will have written extends until the end of middle school. The next time they will get one after this will be when they go on to high school. If you have any continued questions, we more than understand. There's a lot of information presented in here, and there's just a lot of information in general to consider. So of course, if you have any questions, feel free to open your phone. This QR code that you can scan will take you directly to the same couple screenshots that I showed you early on in the presentation, which is directly on our SSMS website, where it says submit questions in the green button, and then it'll say Center for Gifted Studies in another orange button. If you scan this QR code, it'll take you directly to the form of where you can fill in your own contact information and a text box of what your question or questions are. And it goes in email form directly to myself, Mrs. Kina, and the staff that are at Seven Springs overseeing the program so that we can help you get those questions answered very timely, okay? And again, while I encourage you to use that form electronically, I understand sometimes it's easier just to reach out via email directly and just kind of have that connection with somebody. I completely understand that. My name is Alyssa Kina. I am the assistant principal for 6th grade and for our gifted program. Mrs. Beth Long, who is one of our teachers of gifted science, is also my counterpart. And Mrs. Batista, who is our school counselor, and she oversees all teams of gifted students, 6th, 7th, and 8th. So she will see those students through onto their high school years, and that would be another good person to be in contact with if you have any questions. I also listed our Pasco County Schools gifted catalog with a lot of different information on here as well. And everything is going on to our Pasco County Schools, Pasco Pathways, School Choice Expo website. You'll see this information and more, all linked back to that. So in totality, we look forward to meeting your gifted child, getting to meet you as a family. We hope that you are going to be applying for our school choice window. Now, again, that's opening on January 8th. We look forward to seeing you soon. Future Jaguars.